The new DS Performance, the sports version of this updated car. Let's stay on Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars here as the single review. If you're also more interested in the DS3 in general, convertible and the hatch with the lower horsepower variants, we also have a video of that one. It's linked in the video description. This one will be all about the performance vehicle. Let's go. In the front, the DS Performance offers the same new huge front grille as the other versions, but here we have a special DS Performance logo up there. A very strong red color called Rouge Ardent we have here on the DS Performance, and bigger alloys in the normal versions, 18-inch, and they look very sporty. Remind me a little bit also of the Peugeot Sport models, and the same will also soon account for parts of the interior, I can tell you. Black contrasting side mirrors as well as those black contrasts here at the wheel arches. Overall a very aggressive design, of course, and probably one of the most unique small sporty cars on the market there is right now, and also just below 4 meters in length. And the rear was very clear looking taillights, another DS Performance logo. 2 exhaust pipes, that's not special, same in the normal petrol engine versions. Well, it's basically the same engine, but we got a quite strong diffuser here for a small car. Now let's take a look inside of the DS Performance, and the big difference to the normal versions is you get those special seats here. Wow, real racing seats with a lot of side support and really a great mix. We know that, for example, from the Peugeot Sport models, Dynamica or microfiber on the inside, and also some other cloth and this really great racing style. Visually, they look great, and I can promise you they are also very comfortable and sporty at the same time. More to that very soon. The steering wheel is basically the same, and well, you see the main difference is really the seats. Well, the floor mats, they have the DS Performance logo, but everything else is, well, not so much different. You got a red background on the central instruments, and of course, more power boost. And I'll get inside. Well, you see the side of the seat that flips down a little bit. Kind of loose. It's not really bad, but I wonder how will it be over time? How is the durability of that one? I hope it doesn't get too loose then. But then when sitting here, you really feel very cozy and, you know, sporty, caged in at the same time. The funny thing is really also when comparing it to the normal models of the DS, that here, although it is sportier, the seat offers more space for tall people. That's a strange thing, but good to know. So when you're taller, it's better to go for the sport racing seats here with the DS Performance. Quite interesting finding here, and that's why it's also way better for me to sit here, definitely. So with the normal versions, I would rather say not really recommendable for tall people. Here, I think it's less of a problem. Very interesting. General cockpit overview. We see a lot of different forms here as well in the DS Performance version. The perfume spender is also in here. Maybe if you want to have a good smell when racing. Also a mix of different materials, a little red here on the top, then structure on the dashboard from plastic, but it's kind of a wave structure if you look in that direction, and some racing stripes. They're just wrapped on here on the black plastic, shiny, glossy stuff. And overall, I think it's not too different from the normal DS versions. It already looks kind of that way. Really, the seats are the main difference. The infotainment screen, there's also the new one here in this new DS version. If you maybe know it from the old Citroen DS version, it was a little bit different, a little bit smaller. And this is the GPS here as well. And they have updated that one. You could go to the menu, the button below there, and in the menu you can either, for example, connect the telephone via Bluetooth, or there's also an option to go for the Apple CarPlay. Basically accounts for all of the models. You can pick the same options, and of course this one here is also available as a convertible. And another close look at those racing style instruments. It's kind of aluminum style on the outside and then red on the inside. In the DS Performance version you have the same storage spaces as well. Inside of the doors, quite slim. Then the glove box is very huge. Front of the gear shifter is a little space, as well as USB and 12-volt power supply here, and some beverage holder right there. And now it is the question, what have I do and space in the rear with those racing seats? Are they better or worse for the space I have behind here? And well, it was a problem before in the normal versions, and here it's even worse, yeah, because the seats are really huge, so they reduce, well, I cannot sit at all here, but headspace wise, okay, it would work, but here I can even put the seat, like I can even fix it with my knees here. So you have to remember, when you go for the racing version, you should only go with very tiny people in the rear. However, you don't lose any space in the trunk. Now also as an example here, when a suitcase is right in there, how big it is that you can imagine it. So let's go for a short test run with the DS3 Performance. Turbo petrol engine, 1.6 liters displacement, 210 horsepower, or 208 to be very exact, but you know, always varies a little bit anyway. So some 50 horsepower more than with the other strong version. And already realized right now, the suspension is really way stiffer. That makes a difference. And here in the roundabout test now, you feel you get better connection to the road. You see there's hardly any curve tilting. So you also have a lot of riding fun. And the sport is also quite sound. That's a nice one. The sound is already quite sporty as well. You also heard that from the outside. So there is still a difference, of course, here to the performance version than to the 165 horsepower petrol engine. However, it's not a completely different engine, therefore you shouldn't also expect anyone else. But I mean, it's a small and quite light car, and therefore you also don't need those huge engines. That works pretty fine then. So stop and go then here as well. The steering wheel could be a little bit stiffer, I think, for a sporty car. Let's do that roundabout test once more with some higher speed and also some slalom style. Yeah, that works pretty well, I would say. Also have a better impression than with the normal versions of the DS3. But you have to be sure, I mean, you also lose a little bit of comfort, of course. If we're pushing it front wheels, we get a little bit of understeering, I feel that, but really a lot of fun. And at the same time, well, the suspension is less comfortable, yes, but as the seats offer more comfort for tall drivers, it's maybe not a wrong choice to go to then. So that's also really interesting. Good acceleration. shifting is also better than with the diesel engine, definitely. With the diesel engine, the manual shifting process was sometimes a little bit harsh, with a lot of resistance. Here with the petrol engine, it feels better, definitely. So we get out here. And let's show you some acceleration, for example, from 30 to 70 in the second gear. Dropping down to 30 now, and let's go now. And that's it. So, I think acceptable performance, really a fun small car where you have this unique styling on the exterior and on the interior. Well, there are other small cars that are maybe more refined in the interior, but at the same time maybe a little bit boring, probably. But you know, this one offers definitely a very special mix. 208 GTI would be from the corporation inside, from the PSA, Peugeot, Citroën. You could also compare that one, of course. So here now unlimited speed to 100, so one more acceleration figure. Let's say third gear from 70 to 100. Let's go now. And done. You see, even reasonable here. And now with 100, well, it gets a little bit loud here, so not the best installation, but you get a good feeling from the steering wheel then to the road. Here even at some higher speeds. And the shifting is really fun as well. So, if you're searching for some really fun small car, why not? And extra price for that one here is 27,000 euros, depending on which extras you pick, but about 3,000 to 4,000 euros extra from the very top version there is at all, and that is still okay considering. And now it's getting very slow. Still got a small car. You get along also in narrow regions and inside the city. The steering gets very light then when you're at slower speeds, so you don't need much power to get around that one. And so you can still have that one here as a small everyday car. That is no problem. We leave bicycles in the front. Come on. No, he wants us to drive. For example, here now there's like a mini roundabout here, and with some bigger cars, let's imagine I would be even with a mid-sized sport car here, I would already get annoyed. Here got the rear view camera. Oh, they've improved the resolution. That's good. But here with a very small car, it's no problem. So there are always advantages also to the smaller cars, that you can combine something more with them. Besides, you cannot combine the rear passenger part, as we've shown you earlier. So one more acceleration here from first gear, as we are starting here right now. Front wheels, maybe will they spin? Let's see. No. I felt it at the steering wheel. When you push the throttle really hard, you have to hold tight because the wheels give you a little bit spin, but they have really very well worked with the differential as well. That is special here about the performance version, and that is also limiting too much wheel spin, at least on dry roads. I think it will be a different pair of shoes than on the wet road. There we will have more problems with that, definitely. But here, on the dry road, no problems whatsoever. In the past, we've also had powerful front-wheel driven cars where it was more of a problem. Up here, I think they solved it quite well. So overall, yeah, it is some kind of special car, definitely. Now to the conclusion of our single review of the DS3 Performance. It is a very likable car, unique in exterior and in the interior, definitely, and so it stands out from the other competitors in the styling part, definitely. Well, sound-wise, this is a motorbike now, but you've also heard the sound here. They've also figured out that one quite well, and I was also quite satisfied with the driving performance, especially the combination with seat to small steering wheel and the rather stiff suspension. And well, it's not the best car for tall people, but if you compare it to the normal DS3 versions with those sports seats here in the interior, it is more suitable even for tall people. I did not expect that one. From the interior refinement, there are surely other better competitors, but you have something different here. Quelque chose français, something French, and maybe that is a reason for you then. I want to hear your feedback on this car here, and if you're more interested in the DS3 in general, I've told you already in the video description, there's our huge extensive review from all of the different versions, convertible and hatch. Of course, you can also get the performance version as convertible. That would probably be my choice then, with those Alcantara cloth seats on the inside, sports version, performance and convertible. My wish for today. What's yours? Tell us in the comments and join us next time again on Autogefühl with Thomas. Thank you very much for watching.